Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Meet the Experts. My name is Jay Vix, and we have a product called Journey Builder. So, Meet the Experts is what this show, Journey Builder is what Meet the Experts is powered by. It's our all in one marketing software solution with CRM. So, whether you're looking to engage with clients, nurture clients, or turn them into raving fans, Journey Builder is our solution to do that, and it runs the entire back end of our show. If you're here for the first time, you might be wondering what the heck Meet the Experts is. That is a really good question. It is a place for business owners, C-level executives, founders, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, anybody with a product or service to talk about, to sell, to promote. This is a great platform for them to do it on video. A lot of people tell us all the time over the course of the last 12 years, I don't really like video. I know video is important, but I don't really know how to do it, or I don't know how to start, or I like, I think the interview format works well because I need to be prompted, and some people just don't want to pick up their phone. Then you have other people who are in the marketing world, and they just love to be able to talk about products and services, and they know how to do video, but this is always such an easy, remote, simple way to do it that they like the concept. So if you want to be a guest on Meet the Experts in the future, stick around till the end of this great episode, and I promise I will tell you how you can become a guest on Meet the Experts. Oh, and by the way, it doesn't cost you anything to be a guest, so that's fun. Today, let's turn our attention to today. Today we have Brooks Walter. He is the Vice President of Marketing and Partnerships at a company in Maryland. I believe they're in Maryland. We'll double check on that. Strategic Factory. And he does a lot of really cool stuff. He's super busy, but every once in a while, when we're that busy, we still have to find that work-life balance. So when he's not working, you can often find him spending time with his family, traveling, going to concerts, and playing games and going to sporting events. So without further ado, let's bring Brooks up onto the screen. Brooks, hi. How are you, my friend?
Hey Jay, how you doing, man?
Doing great. I'm glad to have you here. I think I love when I get to talk to other marketers, right? So often I get to talk to the business owner who is kind of terrified to be on video. They're trying to just, they're like, thank God you can put me on video because otherwise I'd be lost with video, right? And then I talk to somebody who's in marketing, and we kind of get jazzed up about these sort of things. So I'm really excited to have you. So go ahead and tell us a little bit more just about kind of who you are and what you do, and we'll get to products and services after that, but just a little overview of you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. My name is Brooks Walter. I am Vice President of Marketing and Partnerships for Strategic Factory. We are indeed located in Maryland, right in between Baltimore and DC. And we are a single point provider for all things marketing and branding. So anything a company may need, we certainly can help them out. Myself, in addition to kind of my professional career, I'm a husband, I'm a father, two little kiddos who keep me on my toes. Really, a lot of fun.
I love that. I too, I have a little kiddo who keeps me on my toes, and it's as we're recording this, she's at school, but my wife's out of town, but it's just me and her for 4 days, and that's always fun with an 8-year-old because she likes to test my patience. It's great.
Yeah, when dad's in charge, all rules are off.
Right? Yeah, yeah. We have. Then when mom gets home, she's like, "Did you do anything?" Anyway, so anyway, well, cool. So vice president of marketing, single point provider. I think that's very cool because as a marketing agency that I own, I mean, we're mostly focused on like the software, like using marketing within our all-in-one software tool, Journey Builder. You are like, people can come to you and you can just get it done no matter what it is, print, digital, all that stuff, right? So tell us a little bit more about those services, and then do you have a target audience that you go after?
Yeah, so we handle print, signage, promotional items, apparel, digital marketing, direct mail, fulfillment. And we really, our target audience is any business out there, honestly, anything from business cards to the big sign on your building and everything in between, we can certainly help you out. We started here outside of the Baltimore area. We're about to celebrate our 25th anniversary. Our owner immigrated from South Africa and really has grown this into a one-stop shop for, anything a business needs, from starting a company to an established organization. And we have clients big and small. So really, there's not a company out there that we've come across that we can't find something to help them out with.
I love that. And you talked about strategy and partnerships. So do you often work with other marketing agencies to be their kind of fulfillment partner?
We do. So we work with clients directly. We work with agencies to kind of help them manage relationships. We do some white labeling services for organizations as well. So there really isn't anything, we have a kind of a yes attitude. And I know we'll get into a little bit of kind of our company motto, but we're always willing to figure it out and roll up our sleeves and find a solution.
Ah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I think it's definitely a need in the market. I mean, I think everybody has kind of those things they're good at, but there's companies that can partner with people that are good in those things, and then of course being able to say, "Now we've got you covered," and manage all that. That single point of contact, I think, is critical. Not a lot of companies can do that well, but to make
Right.
it 25 years, right? You're doing something right, you know? So let's talk about that. So 25 years in business. I know that the founders from South Africa, um, over time, there must be hundreds, if not thousands, of testimonials and nice things that people have said. Um, is there, in your experience with your time at the company, is there anything that maybe a customer has said, or a win that you got for somebody, or something that just stands out at the top of mind where you're like, this gets me up and keeps me going every day?
Sure. So we have, we obviously have a lot of high profile organizations we work with, some of the local sports teams like the Ravens, University of Maryland. But I am going to jump back. I know that your question was about, before I was with the organization or while at the organization, I'm going to go before. And
Okay.
the reason why is because I was actually a customer of Strategic Factory twice. So when I ran marketing for a local sports bar chain called the Green Turtle, I was at a Ravens game. I saw the signage. I needed something. So I immediately went to their website, filled out a form. One of the VPs here reached out to me within a day, scheduled a tour. We call them rock star tours because you're a rock star. You kind of come through our facility. Went through the tour, was super impressed. They did a great job with that first order. And I really started using them, in everything I was talking about of being that one single point of contact. I think a lot of times marketers struggle when you have, hey, this is who I go to for signage. This is who I go to for uniforms, especially in the franchise model.
Mm.
So they were really a great partner. Partner is a term that I don't use loosely. It's something that it really has to mean something for both organizations, and they provided a lot of value to us. So when I moved on from the Green Turtle and went to another franchise organization, I brought them with me. They were dealing with 4 or 5 vendors. I was able to consolidate that all into one platform for them. And then really a great opportunity opened up here for me to come and lead the internal marketing team and develop additional partnerships. And honestly, that's, to me, the ultimate testament, right, is that I felt so strongly about my relationship and the quality of service that I was receiving that I felt like as a marketer, it's super important for me to feel good about the product or service. I can't tell you enough. A lot of times if I'm trying to sell people on something or trying to help market a product and I don't feel good about it, that's a problem. So knowing that the end use for customers and clients was a positive one, it was a no-brainer for me to join the organization.
That's really cool. I mean, that you're right. That is, I've done close to 100 episodes of Meet the Experts now, and that might have been one of the best testimonials I've ever heard. Because I mean, everybody wants to go to that case study, right, or that review they got on Google. I mean, for you to have such an experience, it's transformative. It actually turned into your career starting from that experience. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than that as far as like a true testament to what the company has been able to provide and do, and how they put their money where their mouth is, right?
Yeah.
um well, cool, man. How did you, I call it earned it, learned it, improved your authority. Let's talk about your educational background, but also your experience level to get you this point. Any titles, certifications? How'd you get here from an education standpoint?
Absolutely. So I went to York College of Pennsylvania, a small liberal arts school in PA. I played sports all my life. The height I am today was the height I was in like fifth grade. So like I was really tall for my age at that time, and then everyone else shot up and went past me. So I know playing professional sports wasn't in my wheelhouse, but I really wanted to work in sports. So as I was looking at majors, public relations and marketing, every team has them, every organization needs them. So I majored in public relations, minored in marketing, and was really passionate about sports. That was dead set that that's what I wanted to do. I had a ton of internships. I started with a minor league baseball team, had two internships with the Orioles while I was in school, went through the enterprise management program that they offer, which is a great kind of entry point to sales. Renting cars is no joke. I think it's a grind. I really, anytime I talk to college students, I always tell them to look at that program because I think it's a great one for management experience and sales. So fortunate enough, outside of school, I call them chapters. I think a career is very much a book of chapters. So I would say like my first chapter was in the sports industry. And so I started out, I had a job with the Philadelphia Eagles right out of school in the corporate partnerships world. So that's, the team sponsors, the Lincoln Financials, the Geicos of the world, and loved it. It was a really great experience. Had the opportunity to move closer to home. So I grew up in the Baltimore area, had a job offer at Monumental Sports and Entertainment, which is the Caps and the Wizards. At the time, Verizon Center. Now it's the Capital One Arena. It's owned by Ted Leonsis. So again, same thing in the corporate partnership space. I was able to work my way up into a managing role there. And when I found myself keep talking to people and really trying to dig into how their marketing and strategy and how the partnership with the teams fit into that puzzle. I kept finding myself when I meet with them, one, because I felt like if I understood their strategy overall, I could align that with the partnership. And there's no reason why we can't continue that relationship year over year and grow that relationship if we're aiming at that target. But I found myself wanting more. I found myself, I feel like I mastered sports marketing and in the activation space. And I wanted to learn more about the rest of the marketing landscape. So I had an opportunity to go to an agency outside of DC that was handling all the local co-op marketings for Papa John's. And this is Papa John's in their heyday. We had partnerships that I was managing across the country for sports teams, with athletes, with charitable relationships. But we were a full service agency. So we were also doing the media buying. We were doing digital marketing, social media strategy. And so really helping localize the Papa John's brand. And that's really where I kind of saw that rest of the puzzle. I was able to be a part of, building campaigns, managing budgets, things that I wasn't getting that experience when I was working on the sports team. Different world, was a lot of fun, a lot of travel. And then again, really cool things like I helped negotiate a deal with Major League Baseball at Papa John's with the first national trigger. So it was a Papa Slam. Every single time someone hit a grand slam, the country would get 40% off pizzas the next day. A lot of success with it. I found myself like when you're in the agency world, and Jay, you know this all too well, you're constantly pitching brands and companies with ideas. And, sometimes the agent, the client loves it and it's greenlit and you're going forward. But oftentimes they're like, maybe we'll consider that next year. And you get so, upset a little bit because you feel so passionate. You're like, man, if you just do this, this is what your business needs right now. So I found myself needing to go to the brand side. I was like, you know what? I want to be in that decision seat. I want to work with agencies. I want to work internally with teams, develop those relationships with sales and operations, and really peel back the curtain there. So I shifted to the brand side. So I went to the Green Turtle, as I mentioned before, and then went to Zips Cleaners when our CEO left, and went to a different brand. So had opportunity to head up marketing in a different space. Franchise environment comes with its own, pros and cons. I will just leave it at that. Again, great experience for me. Being on the brand side, being in that seat, and that's what led me to Strategic Factory today.
I love that. It's such a cool it's such a cool story, and I love how you used it in terms of like everything's a chapter, right? I too, I have such a my book has got a lot of chapters in it. It's like we we go through these things. You mentioned the enterprise program. I mean, that is like one of the best, right? I mean, it's not it's known. Everybody in college
Yeah.
knows about this. Anybody in the business world, I've talked to so many people that were like, that enterprise program, I'll tell you what, that's the best program, right? And it's a testament to how well they've learned. I actually, a long time ago in a former chapter, right? Somebody I knew who owned a business, he said, anytime I get a resume and enterprise was like their first job out of college, he's like, I oftentimes that leads to the interview where I want to talk to them, right? Because it's that good of a program.
Jay, I think you have to remind your audience we're not being sponsored by Enterprise today, but
yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, maybe this will lead to something. And then you talked about the franchising space, which is something that we're very involved in, where where even with our tools, we have a CRM and can do all the digital marketing inside of software, right? It's the systems. I think that's really what I want to get back to, was the systems. Like, you've worked in systems, right?
Yeah.
And being able to pitch things in systems, and it's so much easier. I kind of want to get your thoughts on why that's easier than working in kind of a one-off because of the pitching and the rejection. Like, when you load one system in, it then gets to replicate. Tell me about some of your experience with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think franchises as a whole, for people that I want to own a business, right? You can open up your own restaurant, but that means you have to obviously figure out what the decor looks like, what the menu is going to be like. You're going to have to negotiate deals with beverage companies. You're going to have to hire people. You're going to have to train people. And if you've never done any of that, a franchise model gives you all the tools to kind of say, hey, you're going to pay, you're going to get marketing help, you're going to get operations help. We're going to even help you finance and things like that to really run the business. So I think the franchise model as a whole, and as you mentioned, a system, that's really what it is. And I think the franchisees that buy into those systems that really say, like, this is what it takes to be successful, those are the most successful franchisees, and also the ones that, from a marketing perspective, are my favorite to work with. It's the ones that go against the grain. It's the ones that, try to say, hey, this is a promotion we're running. I don't want to run that promotion. This is the menu that we're offering. I want to run my own things. Well, it makes us question why you joined the franchise to begin with. You should have opened up a Bob's Bar down the corner and not, gone with an established brand that people know. So, obviously there's fees and things like that come to it, but it unlocks different things and services, right? I mean, I think, if you're from a buying power perspective, if you're one of 100 restaurants versus Bob's Bar down the street, you may not be able to afford Jay's services because, there's, value that comes with having multiple other parties involved where you can get additional services that you may not be able to afford otherwise.
I love that. It was what a perfect way to kind of cap that. We've been doing this series, like our last out of our last 15 guests or so, we've been talking to people in the franchise space, the mergers and acquisition space, the business buying, the legacy, the general wealth, like people, like, how do you utilize business as a whole to get yourself forward. And I think with the franchising people I've spoken to, you talked about it, that buy-in is so important. Like, if you're going to spend the money, you really need to do the system. Don't try to go reinvent the wheel. The wheel's there. They're giving you the wheel. You got to pay a little more for it,
Right.
but you're going to be able to come through on the other side so much better. Wow. That was a lot. That was a good chunk of stuff we talked about. We both have a lot of chapters in our book, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to change gears though. We're coming to the end. I got a couple more questions for you. I knew this was going to go fast. Every episode does, but you can answer this professionally or personally. I'm gonna leave it up to you. But if I just said, Brooks, tell us something you're thankful for, what do you say?
I mean, obviously, this is a crazy world, so I can't start that without saying, my family and health. I mean, I think, oftentimes we take that for granted, but that's a real life thing that a lot of people don't have that luxury to say. Um, from a professional standpoint, I would say the opportunities to continue to learn and grow. I mean, I've been so thankful to work for some really good leaders over these years that have helped challenge me, help elevate me. I'm currently in this Stanford Lead program, which is a great opportunity for me to propel into that kind of leadership world and hone in on those skills. So I look for places to continue to be challenged. But again, I think it comes down to the people. I think at the end of the day, I've been so fortunate to work for some really good leaders. And so I think sometimes I heard somewhere it's like the old pillar on a house and you're trying to climb up and you don't like the type of house you're climbing on, pick your ladder up and go to a different house to start climbing up. And I've been very fortunate to pick some really good houses that have helped get me to the next level. And then sometimes you do have to still pick up your ladder to continue to learn and grow.
Man, that's a good answer. No, it's awesome. I think that wow, that was just like thinking about that ladder analogy. I don't know that I've ever kind of, maybe I've heard it before, but I don't think I ever truly grasped like the concept until you just said it that way. It was really, really, really got me thinking. That's my favorite question that I ask everybody, by the way, because it
It's a good
changes
question.
my whole perspective, my whole like thoughts and outlook on life has changed from doing these episodes and hearing what other people are grateful for that are in the business world. I hope someday that I can write a book with actual chapters about my experience on Meet the
Yeah.
Experts and what I've learned from interviewing business owners and executives. So I got one more, and this one will be good for Strategic Factory. Like, this is good. Websites have FAQs. You get asked the same question all the time. I'm sure you get asked it over and over and over again. There's probably 3 or 4. You can do more than one if you want, but we always like, what is like that big frequently asked question? And then I'm going to give you the floor. Tell us the question you get asked. Go ahead and answer it, and then you'll be able to use that video anywhere you want from now on.
Awesome. I would start really also on the personal front. There's a lot of people that reach out on LinkedIn, just ask questions like, how did you navigate through your career? And, I always like telling people it's really hard work. It's networking, gaining that work experience. So internships are great in college. That is, questions that I get on a personal level. On the business front, people always ask us because we do so many different things. Is there anything we can't do? And here we kind of have this can do, will do, happy to model that again our great leader here has developed and built a culture around, and really from top to bottom, everyone embodies it. Can do is that flawless execution. Can you get the job done? Will do is kind of that ownership. You can count on that person. It's a reliability. Happy to is just that positive attitude. A team player. And I don't know if I can curse, but we have a no assholes allowed policy. Again, from a former customer, I felt that. I felt how the culture was established, and I felt that I could count on them for executing flawlessly. I could rely on them. They were happy to do it. Always, I'd come to them with a problem or and say, hey, we need a sign. We need something on this Dropbox, where people can drop off their dirty laundry in a 24-hour situation, and we need to wrap it so people understand what it is. And they came out, they measured a box, they gave us some ideas on the signage, and came up with a solution. And so I think we always have this motto is we'll figure it out. We try to find the yes. And so it's been really great for me at this point in my career to find a place that I think my core values really much align with the vision that the CEO has instilled.
Man, that was awesome. Brooks, I really do appreciate you coming on today. Before we wrap up, I did want to also say that as somebody who grew up in northern New Jersey, I had a couple of friends who also went to York College after high school.
Oh, nice.
It was only a few hours away. I think 3 hours away. And
Yep.
I've driven through there several times, not through York directly, but when I come across 78 through Pennsylvania to go back to New Jersey. So, man, Brooks, good luck with Strategic Factory. I think it's really, really cool what you guys do. I hope that we can stay in touch and
Absolutely.
and hopefully work together on some things going down the road. But thanks for coming on Meet the Experts today, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Jay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to staying in touch.
Awesome. Take care. Whoop, I didn't mean to cut him off saying thank you there. Sorry, Brooks. I'll be right back with you. No, that was awesome. I love talking with other marketing people. I love finding out that like I'm not alone. Like we all, as marketers, we all kind of have these trajectories, and sometimes we feel like, am I the only crazy one here? And then I meet other marketers, and I'm like, no, I got a whole tribe of crazy people just like me. So that's awesome. I did say that if you stuck around till the end of the episode, I promised I would tell you how you could be a future guest on Meet the Experts. There it is. Head over to www.meettheexpertspodcast.com. It's Meet the Experts with an S. Read about it, learn more, what you get, what you don't get. Hey, we've got a package. If you do the free episode and you need help with the marketing of that episode or chopping it up into cool social media clips, we tell you we can give you a year's worth of video content in a 30-minute interview. We mean it. We'll give you like 14 videos that you can use, one a month, maybe two in some months. Reuse them, right? And chop that up for you. So just head on over to meettheexpertspodcast.com. And we're coming up on our 100th episode. We're coming to the end of the year. Really exciting things happening. Be on the lookout. Stay tuned, and I hope you tune into a future episode. But until our next episode, try to take care of one another, do something nice for somebody, and just be cool with other people. All right? Smile at somebody. Say hi. All right, we'll talk to you soon.